Hi guys, Blake here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is February 25th of 2020 and this is the One Cast. Oh, let's see, today I have boated up. I'm just right below Lookout Point Island and right next to, well, I'm going to draw a blank here, Point Royale. Today I'm going to start off with, I brought a few different colors of jigs, but I'm going to start off by throwing a small floating jerkbait on a drift rig, if I can get it untangled here. Oh no, this is a good one. Let's see. So, 2 days ago on Sunday, I came out after I got off of work and I went fishing for a while. It was similar conditions to today. I think it was sprinkling or misting that day for most of the day, but similar conditions, very cloudy, overcast, and I fished from this spot here down through the Narrows and was doing very well with this method. I caught 5 fish that were over 18 inches. 2 of them were close to 20 and I bet they all weighed close to 3 pounds. I caught plenty of other fish too, so I'm going to see if maybe this method will do the same thing it did Sunday in the same area. So I'm going to take the motor off of spot lock and let us get drifting here. Maybe. There we go. All right. Got a little bit of a wind blowing me back upstream here, so I'll have to fight with that a little bit. So this is a all 4-pound test here. You can, when you're dragging jerk baits, you can get away with putting 6 pound up top, but you still want to use that 4-pound leader. And then I've got a little 1/8 ounce weight on there. And I think we're drifting quick enough to go ahead and give it a toss out there. So, fishing reports from today. Dwayne had a trip this morning. He said they went up top, and he said they tried dragging the jerk baits a little bit. He said they caught a few fish, and he said that they tried the San Juan worms and the scuds. However, he said that it was pretty slow even on the San Juan worm and the scuds, so they switched over to they went downstream a little bit and fished the pink power worm underneath of a float. And I should have asked him how deep they were fishing the pink power worm under the float. Oh, there's a fish right there. So if I can land it, that's, oh no! No. Well, officially a miss on the One Cast. I shouldn't have said anything. I think I jinxed myself there. Anyway, so he said that they were biting the pink power worm pretty well underneath the float. And I think that they were dragging by Short Creek. And a few of the other guides said that the fishing was slower this morning as well, and that they also used the pink power worm. I talked to some guys that were out yesterday and said that the black and white jig was working, one of the only things working for them. And I found that kind of like with the tri-olive, it seems to work better in the sun. I think that the black and white seems to work better when it's a little overcast. Those are just my speculations, but right now I'm drifting dead center down from either side of the lake here, which is the same line I was using Sunday afternoon. Oh, there was another one. No. It would appear that I can having problems setting the hook today here. Well, I think that maybe instead of a bite, that was my jerkbait going to the bottom of the lake. So that puts an end to that there. So we're gonna switch over and try a few different colored jigs. I'm gonna start off with the black and white. That's a 1/16 ounce on 4-pound test, and this is one of our new Lilley 6'6" rods. Well, dang it, I was really hoping to drag that jerkbait a little bit longer. It just goes to show that I should have retied it since the last time that I fished with it, but I did not, which is always good. If you fish with a lure for a while and you haven't retied it back on or checked the line for defects, it's a good idea to do. It could be the difference between landing the big fish or losing the big fish. I'll switch over and turn the camera around here. Try closer to the bluff over here. See what happens. Dwayne is actually out on another guide trip right now. He had 2 today. I was hoping that I'd pass him and get to hear what was working right now, but I would guess that he's either all the way up by the dam or he is down somewhere below our dock, like possibly down by the landing. I think that's where Captain Steve Dickey said he was this morning catching. He said just fish after fish on that pink power worm underneath the float. Maybe he said he was down by Cooper's. I believe he said he was down by Cooper's. Something I've been thinking about trying lately that I thought about tying up today, but I didn't have quite enough time to rig everything up, was the egg fly, which I know a lot of the trout are still in the process of mating. So it's possible that here soon using a egg fly would be a good way to put fish on the end of your line. So far, no takers on the black and white. Might switch back over and try the, oh gosh. Oh, don't do that. And try this shallower side. I'm actually kind of closer to the bluff than I am the shallow. So maybe I can pick up some fish that are more in the center, which is where I was trying to drag that jerk bait. Huh. Well, I'm gonna try a couple more casts with this black and white and switch over to a different color. So right now, the wind is blowing the boat, or blowing towards the boat back upstream. So I'm casting back upstream so that my jig has time to slowly move back downstream, because if I cast directly out or if I cast at an angle downstream, my jig is running so far this direction that it is not getting to the bottom. So I'm cheating it a little bit by throwing it back upstream. Well, I think I'm gonna try a different color. So the next one I have is a 16th ounce black and yellow on 2-pound test. And we will see if maybe that works a little better. So this 2-pound test is allowing my jig to sink just a little bit faster. Pretty good glare on the water today, a little hard to see the line. Which definitely helps out when you're jig fishing. Seen a whole lot of boats on the water today, but I'd say a decent amount for a Tuesday. Found one. I think he might have been on there for 2 of those jigs or jerks before I actually realized he was there. I thought it felt a little heavy the last 2 jigs. Alright. Well, we get to see what a fish looks like today. I was starting to think there for a second we may not. Caught him decently close to the boat here. Thing I could do right now would be to turn the nose of the boat downstream and use my trolling motor to keep the same pace as the current, which is what I might do because my jig is getting pulled pretty far over in a short amount of time. It's not a real heavy gust wind today. It's just a nice, slow, steady wind. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Get a little closer to the bluff as well and try to really hit that center good. Okay. Let's see if I can keep a little better control of the... Oh gosh. I do not know what button I hit, but something was going wrong there. Maybe I hit the autopilot on accident. There goes Captain Steve right there. Looks like he took his second trip of the day up top. Curious to know what they were doing or what they were using up there to catch fish. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to switch over to my last rod that I brought with me today, which is a Sculpin and Peach on 4-pound test. And let's see if I have any luck through the narrows with that. Right now we're coming right up on the bottleneck of the narrows between the barge and the gravel bar and the channel. There's one right next to the boat. That's a little bit... Oh no! I cannot keep a fish on the hook today. That was a little bit nicer of a fish. Dang it. Once again, this water here is a little more shallow, so I do not have to let the jig fall for very long. Oh, that's another pretty fish. Let's see if I can get this one up for the camera. I kind of got to be careful here. I'm pretty close to the edge over here where there's a lot of logs coming through the narrows. Definitely don't want to get the motor wrapped up in one of those. Okay. That was a very beautiful rainbow there. I'm not sure what all these fish have in their bellies lately, but I've been catching some trout that just have huge stomachs. I assume that it's scuds, but I'm not sure. Now we're entering kind of the chute where it gets a little narrow here right before the narrows. And the wind is now blowing, not lightly. So I'm struggling to fish this fast water over here because the wind is blowing me heavily in the opposite direction. This is one of those moments where I wish I had a 3/32 ounce jig on. I probably wouldn't be too crazy to even use an 1/8 in a situation where the wind's blowing you the opposite direction of a faster current. I don't think my jig is even coming remotely close to the bottom right now. Go somewhat near the end of the island here and then call it a day. I'm hoping maybe I can pick up a fish in that shallow flat where the water's running a little slower and it's quite a bit shallower than it is where I'm at right now. I have got a tangle somewhere in my rod. There we go. I can see some fish jumping in the flat below. And there's a heron, a blue heron, taking careful note of those jumping fish right here on the end of this log. But I scared him off. more casts. This wind is just really blowing me around without a heavier jig. I just don't have much control here. Oh, there was a fish. Oh man, I think that's like the third jig I've had thrown back at me today. Uh-oh. Well, we're right over here in that shallow water along the front side of Eagle Island, and the trolling motor was a little too deep. I think I'll make this my last cast. Unless I don't like it, then I'll take another one. I think I'll take one more. Well, I gotta get back and get this edited so I can get to class. So we thank you guys for watching today, and we'll do it again tomorrow.